Behold my oily visage! Yes, hello and welcome to Season 2 of OSW Playlist. Yeah, okay, let's just roll with that. My god, you're greasy. Sorry about that, you're just gonna have to deal with my face. I actually wanted to record myself on camera just to see how it goes. Wanted to dip a toe for at least a little while, so I got a camera and we got some lights and ding dang doodly action Jackson! Just if you're wondering, this is the Canon M50 because so many of you recommended it. Thank you so much for your help. And also a special shout out to Kev of Squared Circle Ringwear and to Chris of Reload Last Save and AJ and Jones and also Grace from Stop Skeletons from Fighting for their advice and their help. I really appreciate it. The Canon M50 is a 24.1 megapixel camera, does 1080-60 or does 4K at 24 frames per second. This is not shot in that. Downside is it only allows 30-minute video files, so let's keep it under that. We won't have trouble with that today. The lights are these LED light panels from Newer. I saw Techmoan reviewing them and I thought, oh, I'll have a bit of that. It has both white lights and yellow lights and gives off about 500 quatloos of power. Honestly, they're really strong lights, so I have them down on the most minimal setting and it's just blasting me in the face. So you can see, is it shining too much? No, my face isn't naturally this oily, but yes it is. What am I doing? Lies, all lies, but I'm trying to fix that. The audio, hopefully it sounds good. I'm using the trusty L Zoom H6, which is plugged into a shotgun mic, which I actually bought, so just in case we do another live show we could record the crowd separately, that kind of thing. And it has a lovely dead cat attached to it to cut down a wind resistance. Hopefully we're indoors, won't have too much wind. No, I can't do no sound effects, that's V1's thing, but you know, and that's why. So with all of our technical buggery out of the way, let's do it to it. And by it, I mean review The Dead Don't Die, this thing here.
Is our plan to inform people about the zombie danger before it gets dark?
I guess so.
Because we passed Farmer Miller's place a little while ago, do we need to inform him?
Fuck Farmer Miller.
Oh, okay.
The Dead Don't Die. Don't die what Donnie don't does. Jim Jarmusch directed it. Who is Jim Jarmusch? Let's ask Homer Simpson.
Maybe I can finally meet Jim Jarmusch and ask him who he is.
Yeah, pretty much my thoughts exactly. He don't done Dead Man in 95, Coffee and Cigarettes in 2003, Only Lovers Left Alive in 2013, and Patterson, Not Briscoe in 2016. So, no, sorry mate, I only know you from The Simpsons, but you had a great opening scene in The Simpsons, even if you didn't get into the chom skin business. Chom skin. What is the vig of this film? Okay, we're in small town America, small town cops, Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, and zombies. Sold. The greatest cast ever disassembled, it's true. Alright, besides Bill Murray and Kylo Ren, we have Hermit Bob, which is Tom Waits, Samurai Mortician, yes, who's not Galadriel, but Tilda Swinton. Steve Buscemi is the crotchety farmer Frank. Murtaugh, Danny Glover, the RZA, and even Selena Gomez has a small part. Do you know she's actually 27? A couple of years ago she did Spring Breakers and Jeff Jarrett's in that, so, you know, thumbs up in my book.
Are you crazy for Jesus?
Amen.
Are you jacked up on Jesus? I am.
Frodo Baggins is a comic book nerd. He knows everything about zombies, and it's who is it played by? A guy who you call if Macaulay Culkin turns you down. The story follows Venkman and Kylo as they investigate the first zombie attack, realising it's actually zombies and rallying to patrol the town, hoping to knock a few off and help locals if appropriate. The locals of which small town? Centerville. I remember because they beat you over the head mercilessly with it. This film is booked like wrestling. Rosie has to know the premise of the film because multiple characters recap it. Okay, polar fracking has caused a shift in the rotational axis of Earth, causing weird things to happen. Not just longer days or electronics dying, unless it's for a gag, but the dead to rise. Okay, so this is an indie film, so they look to spend all the money on the cast of the film, leaving very little money for zombie fights. No blood, but more black soot comes out. Like, Yeah, it's a bit spooty, you know, which is fine, but you could feel the budgetary constraints. Spoilers. Selena Gomez gets an off-screen death, which, okay, there's a bit in it where Kylo Ren can hold up the dismembered head, and there's a bit of a joke about that, but it feels like a cool scene was missed by not having her die on screen. It was the only bit of the film where I'm like, you guys really could have used a bigger budget. That and the extras ham it up. They're like really obvious with their stage directions. What the fuck? It wouldn't fly in a bigger budget film, hopefully not. So, tell me about the lady boys. The zombies. What does Jim Jarmusch do with zombies? Okay, these are the traditional undead, reanimated corpses rising from their eternal slumber under a full CG moon. You get the kayfabe zombie tropes of the dead bursting their way through 6 feet of compacted dirt. It's ridiculous. They can barely break a window pane, it's because they're like, how are they breaking through a casket under 6 feet of dirt? Also, we get the zombie film trope of the protagonist never being stealthy, like Bill Murray. He's a cop and he has the blue and white lights just going around. And it's like, that's not very stealthy, mate. Also, they're going around in short sleeve shirts, which is the uniform, but mate, put on a leather jacket so they don't get bitten,
Coffee.
Chardonnay.
Did she just say Chardonnay?
Yeah, she did.
So what new does Jim Jarmusch bring to the table? I love the gimmick where the zombies return to the thing that they did most in life. Oh, I love coffee, I love toys, I love Ambien, and that's quite a nice understated social commentary on, how we're slaves to our vices, that kind of thing. But then at the end of the film, big cunt Tom Waits has this diatribe where he's giving out about people, about kids and their Nintendo Game Boys and back in my day, and fuck off, mate.
I've been telling you this is all going to end badly.
Well, that's unfortunate.
The other thing, Kylo's catchphrase is, "This is gonna end badly," which is this film's "I've got a bad feeling about this." He says it repeatedly throughout the films. The script is padded with callbacks and repeated lines, which is very wrestling. Speaking of, they Roman Reigns the shit out of Sturgill Simpson's theme song to this, which is The Dead Don't Die. It's a country and western thing. It's actually quite nice, but they play it over and over in different scenes, so much so that the film itself gets sick of it. Bill Murray just throws the CD out of the car. We get 2 glaring kayfabe breakers. Kayfabe breakers! One of them is Kylo admits that song by Sturgill Simpsons is the theme song, and it's like a single one-off nod, that's okay, but they actually come back to it at the end of the film where they're both in the car and like, oh, we're gonna die, how do you know that? Because I've seen the end of the film, I've seen the script, and it's like, oh, fucking Jim Jarmusch, ooh, after all I've done for him. It's like, oh, come on, mate, this is Samurai Cop 2 levels of Black Gift, you pack of winkers. Alrighty, so here's a couple of stray observations before I wrap up. The IFI described the small town cops as laconic, and I was like, hey, I learned a new word today, laconic. It means using very few words, succinct, pithy, terse, untalkative, and I was like, this is a talkie. This is a moving picture. There's not much money going around, so there's not much action, so your characters are gonna have to talk. That's no good. Thing about Bill Murray, 68 years old, not exactly, a hungry actor unless it's tea time. So you can feel it's a lot trying to get him to emote. He feels just tired in it. I do like seeing him. Love seeing Kylo Ren. It's cool. There's actually a bit of fan service on his keyring. He has a little Star Destroyer. Thumbs up for that. Other bits that I love. Kylo Ren, he drives a smart car, and it's like, this is a small, sleepy town, old traditional 70s stuff. And then you have him with his, this blistering red lipstick embarrassment. He's a big enough fella, and this is a dainty, pissant eco-warrior car. Apologies to any of our fans who have a smart car. It's a really cool car. Where do you put the batteries? Overall, it's fine, but there's nothing hugely redeeming about it, nothing wrong with it, but nothing really right with it, so zombie film, horror, indie, 9 on 10. The Dead Don't Die is in cinemas now, or if you're from the future, it's on any streaming service, it's on home video, or it's in a bargain basement bin. Delete as appropriate.
And now, like the best independent films, I must fade out with a cool dissolve. Ow! That hurts.
Well, that does it for this month's OSW playlist, Season 2, Episode 1. How about that? Let me know what you thought of The Dead Don't Die if you see it, or if you don't, that's also good. And what you thought of this format in general. I just released Super OSW Level 3, the video version, and Level 18, the radio broadcast, will be out next week. OSW82 is a super secret Brucey bonus video review. I think you're really gonna like it. It's not a wrestling pay-per-view, but it does have something to do with wrestling, so it's gonna be awesome. It's not a film review either. If you watch the WrestleMania 35 review, you will actually get we foreshadow it heavily in there. Anyway, just wait, you'll find out next time. And then after that we have the Page movie review. Myself and V1 will review that. The actual Page film that was released in cinemas, not released over the internet. And then after that is OSW 83 Survivor Series 1993, which you are going to love. It features megastar Bruce Hart. So you can watch the rest of our OSW playlist videos. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll give you a course clear on Season 2, Episode 1 of OSW playlist. And remember, I don't know what I did there, a winner is you.